There's a castle in Scotland that shows up on more shortbread tins, more whiskey labels, more tourism posters than any other building in the country. It looks 800 years old. It is not. 9 of the castles in this film were built before 1500 and have stood more or less ever since. One of them spent 200 years as a rubble pile on an island nobody visited. We're not going to tell you which, not yet. 10 fortresses, molten gold, a tower that slid off its own hill, a piper who lost his hands over the wrong tune, and one building that time never actually stood still for at all. Historians estimate Scotland once built somewhere close to 3,000 castles. Most are gone now, grassed over, ploughed under, remembered only as a place name on a map. For every one still standing today, roughly 3 more didn't make it. The 10 that did are not the 10 you'd expect. No Edinburgh, no Stirling, just the ones left alone long enough to keep their secrets. Nobody can actually prove how old Castle Sween is. That's not a gap in the paperwork, it's a genuine mystery. This might be the oldest stone castle standing anywhere in Scotland, and there's no foundation stone, no charter, nothing with a date carved into it to confirm it. Best estimate, the 1100s, built by a chieftain called Sween the Red on a ridge over a sea loch in a stretch of coast that didn't belong to Scotland yet. It survived 500 years and 5 changes of ownership. It was never taken by an enemy. In 1647, its own side burned it, just so no rival clan could have it. Walk the shore path today, and the first thing you pass isn't a battlement. It's a caravan park selling ice cream, a few steps from what might be the oldest ruin in the country. 900 years old, and it isn't even the strangest castle on this list. Duffus Castle was built to be untakeable. Walls 2 meters thick on top of one of the largest earthwork mounds in Scotland. It never fell to an army. The ground did that on its own. Timber first, around 1140, rebuilt in stone by the late 1200s, and sometime before 1350, the mound underneath simply gave way. Half the tower slid downhill and stopped, tilted at an angle that still looks structurally impossible 6 centuries later. Walk up from the car park near Elgin and sheep graze right to the edge of the moat. A farmer still works the field this castle has spent 700 years slowly sinking into. They engineered a fortress that could survive an army. Nobody planned for the hill changing its mind. The next castle on this list has a shape nobody else in Scotland ever repeated. When Norwegian ships attacked Rothesay Castle in 1230, the defenders didn't just throw rocks. They poured boiling pitch and molten lead onto the men trying to cut through the walls below. It still took the Norse 3 days and heavy losses to break in. The castle is unique in Scotland for one simple reason. It's round. A perfect circular wall built in the early 1200s by the Stuart family, the same family that later became kings of Scotland. No one ever built another one shaped like it. Walk from the ferry terminal today and you're at the gate inside 5 minutes. It sits in the middle of the town. Locals cut through the grounds on their lunch break, past ducks that have taken up permanent residence in the moat. The only round castle in the country, sharing a postcode with a chip shop. The next stop on this list didn't need molten lead to keep people out. It just built a gallows into the wall and let the reputation do the rest. Archibald Douglas didn't need a moat to make Threave Castle frightening. He had a reputation instead. His own enemies called him the Grim for the look on his face in battle, and a stone hook built into the tower wall that local tradition says was never empty for long. Built in the 1370s on an island in the River Dee, Threave made Archibald the most powerful lord in southern Scotland. His family, the Black Douglases, ran Galloway like a private kingdom for the better part of a century. The only way onto the island is still by water, a short crossing, exactly as it was 600 years ago. A custodian still rows visitors across today, the same short trip that once carried Archibald's prisoners in the other direction. A castle doesn't need thick walls if everyone already knows what happens inside them. Threave frightened people with a rope. The next castle on this list did something worse, with gold. Kildrummy Castle was never beaten in a fight. It was beaten by a blacksmith. In 1306, Robert the Bruce's own brother held Kildrummy against a siege by the future Edward II of England, sheltering the Bruce family inside its walls. The castle should have held. Instead, a smith named Osbarn was bribed to set the grain store alight from the inside. The garrison fell within days. Legend says Osbarn was paid exactly what he was promised, gold poured down his throat molten. Walk up from the car park today and Strathdon is still a working farm valley, tractors crossing the same ground where a Plantagenet prince once camped an army. The strongest castle in the north of Scotland, and it fell to one man with a torch and a price. Betrayal from the inside is one way to lose a castle. The next one on this list was destroyed by the people defending it, on purpose. Urquhart Castle was once one of the largest castles in Scotland by area, big enough to garrison hundreds of soldiers, fought over for 300 years by kings, clans and rebels. Nobody ever managed to hold it for long. In 1992, the government soldiers stationed there packed up and left. On their way out, they packed the gatehouse with gunpowder and blew it apart, not because an enemy was coming, but so that if one ever did, there'd be nothing left worth taking. Today, it's the most visited ruin on this list, close to 500,000 people a year, a cafe, a gift shop, a car park that fills up by 10 in the morning. The only enemy that ever actually beat Urquhart Castle was the garrison assigned to protect it. 4 castles left. This is where it stops being about how old they are. Tantallon Castle was built to make a point. In the 1350s, William Douglas had just become Earl of Douglas, and he wanted everyone on this coastline to know it. So he built the last great curtain wall castle Scotland would ever see. 3 meters of solid red sandstone standing between the Douglases and anyone who disagreed with them. It worked for a while. It survived a siege by King James IV in 1491 and another by King James V in 1528. It took Oliver Cromwell's artillery in 1651 to finally bring it down, 3 centuries after the first stone was laid. Walk the coastal path from North Berwick today and you'll pass dog walkers and golfers, gannets wheeling over the Bass Rock offshore, none of them thinking about how long this wall held. It took 3 centuries and weapons that didn't exist yet when it was built to finally take a castle made of nothing but stone and stubbornness. Tantallon kept people out with 3 meters of wall. The next castle on this list didn't need walls, it needed a reputation. Local legend says the people of Liddesdale finally turned on their own lord, Lord Soulis, wrapped him in lead and boiled him alive on a hillside near his castle, punishment for cruelty and for dabbling in black magic. It's a vivid story. It's almost certainly not true. The real record says Soulis was arrested for conspiring against Robert the Bruce and died quietly in a prison cell at Dumbarton. No cauldron, no crowd, just a smaller, sadder ending that nobody bothered turning into a ballad. Built around 1240 in what one historian called the bloodiest valley in Britain, Hermitage later hosted a very different visitor. In 1566, Mary, Queen of Scots, rode 25 miles across this valley in a single day to see a wounded ally and nearly died of the fever she caught on the way back. Walk the valley today, it's sheep mostly, a lone farmer checking a fence line across ground once called the bloodiest in Britain. The legend says he was boiled alive by his own people. The truth is smaller and somehow sadder. He just died in a cell and nobody wrote a song about that. Every castle on this list eventually lost its people. Every castle except one. Locals here still tell the story of a piper sent inside the walls as a spy, caught and forced to play his captors down to their boats. Instead, he played a warning and paid for it, the story goes, with his hands. His ghost is still said to play from the tower on quiet nights. Duntrune is thought to be the oldest continuously inhabited castle in Scotland. Built by the MacDougalls in the 1100s or 1200s, held by the Campbells for 2 centuries, and lived in today by the chief of Clan Malcolm and his family. Every other stop on this list is a ruin or close to one. This one has a car in the driveway. Every other castle on this list is a monument. This one still has someone's coat hanging by the door. 9 castles down, 1 left. And this is the one we promised you at the start. Every photograph you've ever seen of this castle, the whiskey label, the shortbread tin, the tourism poster, is a photograph of a building younger than the Eiffel Tower. Eilean Donan was first built in the early 1200s, a stronghold of Clan Mackenzie, with the McRae family serving as its hereditary constables from 1511 onward. In 1719, Spanish troops supporting a Jacobite rising were garrisoned here. Royal Navy warships answered with 3 days of bombardment, then finished the job by blowing up the gunpowder store inside. For the next 200 years, Eilean Donan was a pile of stone on a tidal island that most maps didn't bother naming. In 1911, a McRae descendant bought the ruin and the rubble rights along with it. He spent the next 20 years rebuilding it from the ground up, working from old plans and whatever the foundations still remembered. The castle reopened in 1932. Walk across that famous stone footbridge today and you're walking on a bridge that didn't exist until the 20th century, toward a castle that for 2 out of its 800 years didn't exist either. The McRae family still serves as constables here, 4 generations of the same family, the same job their ancestors held 500 years ago. 9 of the castles on this list never stopped standing. This one stopped completely, and somebody built it back anyway. 10 castles. A blacksmith paid in molten gold. A tower that slid off its own hill and simply stayed there. A piper who never finished his warning. And the one on the whiskey label, the shortbread tin, the postcard, rebuilt from a rubble field by a man working off old sketches and whatever the ruins still remembered. Maybe that's the actual thing these 10 places have in common. Not that they're old, plenty of buildings are old. It's that in every single century since, somebody refused to let them finish falling down. 9 of these castles have been standing since before Columbus ever set sail. The 10th was still a pile of stone less than 100 years ago. Tell us in the comments, did you guess which one before we said its name?